In the small village of Umudoka, nestled in the heart of Igbo land, Ezine and Chuku grew up together, their families living just a stone throw away from each other. As children, they would play together, exploring the surrounding bushes and forests, their laughter echoing through the trees. As they entered their teenage years, their friendship blossomed into something more. Ezinne, with her striking beauty and kind heart, captivated Chukwu's attention, while Chukwu, with his charming smile and brave spirit, swept Ezinne off her feet. Their love grew stronger with each passing day, and they would often still glance at each other during village gatherings. They shared their deepest secrets, dreams, and aspirations, and their bond grew unbreakable. One fateful evening, under the staring night sky, Chukwu took Ezinne's hand and led her to the bank of a nearby river. He confessed his undying love for her. Ezinne's heart skipped and beat as she whispered her love in return. As time goes on, these two lovebirds sought a way to make their bond unbreakable. They remembered the stories of their ancestors, who would perform blood oaths to seal their promise. The young lovers decided to follow their footsteps. Under the light of a full moon, they made their way to the sacred shrine of their village. The air was thick with a sense of frankincense, and the sound of drums echoed through the night. Ezine and Chukwu stood before the shrine, their hearts pounding in uniform. With trembling hearts, they pricked their fingers and mixed their blood, promising to love each other till death do them part. The blood oath was sealed, and their love became invincible, or so they thought. As news of their blood oath spread, one of the village elders, a wise and aged man named Obuefi, summoned them to his hut. With a grave expression, he warned them of the dangers of their path. The blood that binds can also bleed, he cautioned. Be careful, my children, for the consequences of breaking this oath will be there. Ezine and Chukwu listened intensively, but their love was too strong to heed to the warning. They believed their bond was unbreakable, and nothing could ever tear them apart. Years passed, and Ezine and Chukwu's love continued to grow. They built a happy life together, surrounded by friends and family. But as seasons changed, so did the wind of fate. A neighboring village seeking to expand their territory began to make aggressive advances towards Umudoka. The elders of Umudoka, determined to protect their land, called upon the young men of the village to take up arms and defend their homes. Chukwu, with his brave heart, was among the first to answer the call. Ezinne, with a heavy heart, bid him farewell, knowing the dangers that lay ahead. As the war drums beat louder, Chukwu marched off to battle, his mind filled with vision of victory and his heart filled with love for Ezinne. But the gods of war had other plans. Months went by and the wars continued. One fateful day, a messenger arrived in Omudioka, bearing news that would shatter Ezinne's world. Chukwu has fallen in battle, his life lost in the chaos of war. Ezinne's world crumbled around her. She refused to believe the news, thinking it was just a cruel joke. But when she saw Chukwu's lifeless body being carried by the villagers, she knew it was true. She gradually became a shadow of herself, withdrawing from the world and struggling to find meaning in life. The blood oaths they shared haunted her every waking moment. One day, a stranger from the city arrived in Umudoka. He was a charming and handsome young man named Ikena, with a silver tongue and a wallet full of cash. He swept into Ezinne's life like a wild wind, showering her with gifts and attention. At first, Ezinne was hesitant, still grieving Chukwu's loss, but Ikena's charm eventually won her over. and she found herself falling for him. He was everything Chuku wasn't: sophisticated, worldly, and alive. Ikenna sensed Ezine's vulnerability and pounced on it. He promised to help her break the blood oath, to free her from the shackles of her past love. Ezine, desperate to move on, listened patiently. Ikenna took Ezine to the city, introducing her to the world of luxury and excess. He wined and dined her, buying her expensive clothes and jewelry. He promised to perform a ritual to break the blood oath, to release her from Chukwu's spirit. Ezinne, blinded by her desire to move on, believed him. She underwent the ritual, a lavish ceremony with fake priests and hollow chants, but the blood oath was not so easily broken. As soon as the ritual ended, Ezinne began to feel a creeping sense of death around her. Remember, their blood oath was that death could not even separate them. She started experiencing terrifying visions and heard Chukwu's voice whispering in her mind. The blood oath was not fooled by Ikenna's strict. One fateful night, as Ezinne and Ikenna walked along the city streets, a mysterious figure emerged from the shadows. It was Obuefi, the village elder who had warned them about the oath. "You cannot deceive the gods," Obuefi declared, with his eyes blazing with fierce intensity. "The blood oath will not be broken so easily. You have sealed your fate, Ezinne." As Obuefi vanished into thin air, Ezinne felt her world crumbling around her. She realized too late that Ikenna was fraud, using her vulnerability for his own gain. The blood oath, sensing her betrayal, exacted his revenge. Ezinne's body began to wither away, her life forced out of her. Ikenna, horrified by what he had unleashed, tried to save her, but it was too late. Ezinne's spirit was consumed by death, forever trapped in the cycle of love, loss, and longing. The villagers found Ezinne's lifeless body the next morning, a tragic reminder of the blood oath's unyielding power. Ikenna, filled with remorse, disappeared into the city, never to be seen again.